Okay, take two, General Stefito here with General Stuff I Do. Today, we're going to show people the proper way to grout, and yes, there is a proper way to do it. And anyway, this is 265 square feet of tile, and what you have to do when you go buy it is you flip over your bags in the store, you figure out how many square feet you got to cover. In this case, this covers 191 square feet. And this is sanded grout for the floor with 1/4 inch joints. So anyway, I'll get right back to you. Looks good, looks good. So yeah, the consistency you like, this is a good consistency. So you have to remember, see how sticky that is? Yeah, I would add some more water because it's going to actually swell up. It expands. And then when it gets too hard, you can't get it in the cracks. Okay. All right, that's good. All right. Let's give that thing a dumparoo. Now that's how you lay it down. And some people like to goof off. Don't do that again. All right, let's get spreading. Now, this is all they had for trowels. These are short at the store. I try to replace them like every 2 jobs because they get really brittle and they kind of break. But anyway, I get the bigger ones typically. And so this is all we had available to us. Now we do have some bigger ones out in the trailer, and we should get those. But yeah, you can see how he's spreading it in the cracks. Now you don't want to have it so thick that you got to actually push really hard in the cracks. That really sucks. I mean, that's just a lot of work. Now for me, I like mine just a little bit more liquidy, and these guys don't like how thin I've got mine. And if you add too much water, it tends to want to sink, and you don't want that. But anyway, when you go to finish it, I like to wipe mine at a 45-degree angle. If you go along with the cracks, let me show what happens when you go along with the cracks. So when you go to wipe it out, what happens is, boom, you get a little divot like that. So that's why I go at a 45-degree angle like that. Alrighty, we'll come back in a minute. Andale, pendejo! Mucho rápido! Now, whenever you have workers working for you, you got to speak Spanish to them, and you got to cuss. It's important you cuss at them. That way they think you're really angry, and they work a lot faster. Mucho rápido, pinche way.
That looks really soupy. Yeah,
so now, they got it all spread out halfway through this job. And now, we have another guy over here doing wax on, wax off. And that's the proper way to do it. So if you use one sponge, you're never going to get the job done. So you get 2 sponges, and you use each side, so you got to flip it. So the idea is you pull the material off the tops of the tile, but don't push so hard that you pull it out of the joints. So he's pulling it off the tops of the tile, kind of floating on top. And then that's the first wipe. Then we're going to come back through, and we're going to do a second wipe. And then the third final wipe is when you get the haze off. Now, that's the worst part of all. If you try to get the haze off while it's still wet, it's really difficult. The haze, you gotta let the whole thing dry. Now, if you try to pull the haze off while the tops are dry, but the grout is still wet, you're gonna pull the grout out of the joints, and you don't want that. All right, we'll come back. So, Stefito back here. Now, I want you to see what it looks like. Look at the glare as I move up and down. That's what it should look like after the first wipe. Now, what's going to happen later on is we're going to come back through and do a second wipe. But you see there's no sand, there's no grout left over. And they've already done the haul. And then you can see Mr. Wax on, wax off right here. Okay. All right, guys, looking good. And you should always get your workers to speak fake Russian. It really makes the work a lot faster. Now, if you look down across the floor, it's got some shiny spots down in here where they're not finished. But way in the back, after they did the first wipe, I'm walking in the centers here, it's very flat. It's not shiny at all. That's the haze. And then you're going to start to see where you can still wipe up some of this material. Anyway, they're getting ready to wipe off the second time, and they're going to hopefully get that glossy finish on the second run. Usually you don't, but sometimes you got to come back a third time. So now that we're going back over it for that second wipe, we got someone else here looking out for a bunch of gas holes. Now, whenever you do a lot of tile and grout, you're gonna run into a bunch of gas holes. There's not a whole lot of gas holes here, but you'll see a gas hole right there and a gas hole there. Now, the gas holes happen because the thin set underneath is still going off. See there? The gas hole. And so it gives off a gas, and then it creates a hole, and then you got a bunch of gas holes. So he's gonna go back through and fill those. Now, don't ever use pre-mixed grout. Never. It's got tons of ammonia in it. You talk about some gas holes, you put it all through there, you'll have like hundreds of them. Then you got to go back through, and it's like doing it twice. So never use pre-mixed grout. It really sucks. Some guy did that to us. He bought pre-mixed grout, he insisted that we used it, and we lost money on it. So I'll come back through and show you the final product. And you can see this guy's wiping it off. He's using a squeegee. This is what he likes to do. And I personally don't like to do it because I got to crouch over. But it's a pretty cool method. All right, so they got the final wipe on it. And you can see it turned out just beautiful. Now I'm walking on it. I'm going to leave a few footprints that I'm going to have to come back, wipe up. But there you have it. Nice job, guys. I'm General Stefigo. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and we'll see you again.